Ladies and gentlemen, who is unleashing terror on Linda Wananchi? Is it the state or is it the strategy to win sympathy?
This country has to be rescued. This country lazima ikombolewe because nobody looking at the pictures that have come out of Kisumu today or indeed in Nyahururu can be proud of such a country that you have people just brandishing weapons and walking and marching in the streets to go and attack a congregation in church. I mean, this is the lowest I think we have sunk, that you can carry bows and arrows and pangas openly in public and go and attack people who are essentially just exercising their freedom of assembly and the freedom of worship.
I'm asking that question because today Linda Wananchi held 2 political activities in the Republic of Kenya. And both of them turned ugly, which begs the question, who is unleashing terror on Linda Wananchi? In Nyahururu, Irungu Kangata's driver was actually shot at, which simply means that either someone targeted Irungu Kangata or someone wanted to send a message to Irungu Kangata. And the scenes there were very ugly. Watch briefly.
Nataka nione wanaume hapa. Kama wewe ni mwanaume, kujeni hapa, kuja hapa. Watatuua hapa Nyahururu. Vijana mukuje.
Back in Kisumu, James Orengo and EDWIN SIFUNA attended a church service. And before the church ended, a group of goons emerged from nowhere. There were so many. And immediately they emerged, another group also emerged to counter them. War erupted. As we speak, 3 people confirmed dead. Several motorbikes burned. The question is, who is unleashing terror on Linda Wananchi? Is it the state or is it their strategy of winning sympathy? Because, for example, in Kisumu, when that video emerged, when my friend Lennox Omondi, who is leading communications for Orengo, shared that video, personally, I thought that was an old video. Because this church is just here. I had actually just passed there. My son was still in the church there. So I was like, this thing could be an old video. But later on, I realized that the video was actually real. I was shocked. I became mad. Why would someone organize goons to go and attack people in a church? Just a normal church service. Why would people lose their lives on a Sunday when you are either supposed to be in church or be enjoying your time with your family? Ladies and gentlemen, something has to be done. But I want us to look at this violence because it's a new trend which is emerging. Before I do it, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, before this video, I had actually planned to talk about Babu Owino and his absence in Nyahururu and also in Kisumu. Because those who follow this channel, you will all agree that I've been hinting that Babu Owino was not very happy when the Nyahururu rally was postponed. So after watching this, in the next 1 or 2 hours later, you are going to confront or you are going to meet that video where that video where I'm going to explain why Babu Owino boycotted Linda Wananchi activities and is actually going to boycott more. But let us focus on this violence which someone somewhere is actually unleashing on Linda Wananchi. Why do you think they are doing that? Number one, and this is something which should worry Linda Wananchi. Someone is out to disrupt their political activities across the country. By unleashing the goons, how are they disrupting their political activities? Linda Wananchi will now be forced to go back to the drawing board. For example, if they had planned that after, because it's very clear, Linda Wananchi have really enjoyed a good time. Their political rallies have been the best of late. Then they came up with now a strategy, which I think they wanted to try. Let this group go this side, let this other group go this side. Then they are being disrupted. Why? Someone wants to disrupt their political activity so that tomorrow they'll be forced now to go back. If they had a plan that after Nyahururu and Kisumu, they were going to go to this place and this place, they'll have to cancel that and figure out how best can we stop the violence. In fact, the next political activities they'll be attending, one of their budgets would be on security. I remember EDWIN SIFUNA explaining that when they were coming to Kisumu, that their massive rally in Kisumu, one of their biggest headache at that time was about how to manage security. And a lot of their resources went in investing on security. So right now, these guys will have to be forced to go back to the drawing board and of course also to change their political activities. Number two, zoning. I think someone is trying to see if they can zone the country. Nyanza, Linda Grounds. Of course, Linda Grounds is no longer there, ODM. You go to Nyahururu, which is supposed to be Rigathi, and Rigathi is now not with these people. They are being told no. Here I said that Rigathi or William Ruto. But will zoning really work? Strategically, if you look at it, if zoning were to be applied, it would mean that violence will target these guys in their strongholds. So you'll take the war to their strongholds. So that on the elections day, what will be affected is the turnout in those regions. For example, if the government, I'm just assuming if the government is behind this, then they'll unleash violence, for example, in that stronghold, let's say in the Luya Nation, or let's say in the mountain. People will fear. And then on the voting days, the turnout will be low. That would have a big impact. Number three, and this specifically applies to Nyahururu. I think someone somewhere realized that Rigathi Gachagua made a mistake the other day when he made it very clear that Linda Wananchi should not go to Olkalau. And of course, Linda Wananchi heeded to that. Then they decided, let us go to Nyahururu. So the mistake Gachagua made was to make that statement. So that right now, you can't say that in Nyahururu, they were actually attacked by the government. Someone can easily craft a narrative that in Nyahururu, they were attacked by Rigathi Gachagua, and that's why the target was Irungu Kangata. So those kind of narratives can always find room. And importantly, I think someone somewhere is trying to create fear to stop people from attending Linda Wananchi rallies. If there's one thing people fear, especially now I'm talking as a Luo from Nyanza, violence. And it's no something, and I remember I text my son when he was in the church. I asked him to stay inside until it is safe. Of course, by that time he had left. But he told me that, Daddy, you know, there's a day you told me that nowadays Linda Wananchi wakienda mahali wanapigwa. And that's why when you saw Orengo and Sifuna wakianza tu kuongea hivi, yeye na one of my niece walitoka. And of course they saw all those things. Although the goons were so kind, they didn't interfere with people who are leaving the church. But now, that's a narrative which is going to start emerging. That anytime you attend Linda Wananchi rallies, or anytime Linda Wananchi goes to a place, then there's violence. They were attacked in Kisii, now in Kisumu and Nyahururu. So what will happen? Women, who normally forms the bulk of the voting bloc, will stop going to their rallies. Perceptually, their rallies will start showing low turnout. And of course, you can't also rule out the possibility that someone somewhere is trying to gauge how Linda Wananchi can respond to violence. Because I tell you that government has intelligence. What happened in Nyahururu, if the government didn't want it to happen, they would have stopped it. In fact, the one in Kisumu was so easy. Even tomorrow, if they want to arrest those guys, they can arrest. But maybe they won't do that because they wanted to gauge the reaction. How can Linda Wananchi react if violence is unleashed on them? And of course, by doing that, they will also be able to study. Like, for example, in Kisumu, these goons came. Then the response from Linda Wananchi was fast and furious. They also just brought in goons in large numbers very fast. Of course, I can't mention the names of those guys who are responsible, but they were able to do it very fast. So probably that's what the government wanted. They wanted to know who are the leaders of the goons from the other side, so that tomorrow people will start being arrested. And those arrests might target these other guys. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. It is very unfortunate, especially in 2026, that violence is not taking over. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.